বলুন। হ্যাঁ, এটাই এটাকে ফুল স্ক্রিন করে দিন, ব্যাস, দ্যাটস ইট। হুম। আপ- দরকার নেই। আপনার এই যে এইটা যদি আগে থেকে স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করে রাখেন, তারপরে যখন ভিডিও করলে আপনার এটাই আপনার ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড হয়ে যাবে। আপনি এটাকে ফুল স্ক্রিন করে দিন। না, 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 কোনো একটা হেজি ফেজি কোচি করে দেবেন, দেখবেন যে কোনো একটা ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড করে দিলে অসুবিধা নেই। কোনো একটা ভার্চুয়াল ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড করে দেবেন। ওকে। আর ওই 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 যে কী যেন স্পটলাইট না কী যেন ছিল ওটা, ওই মোডটাতে রিপোর্ট। না, না, কী এর কী এর জন্য একটা করেছিলেন নাকি একটা, আম, হ্যাঁ, ওইটা। Hello everyone. Good morning or good evening. We are going to start within next 10 minutes, okay? Because we do have a little time. Am I audible to everyone? Let me know if I'm audible.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So today we are lucky enough to have Mr. Devashish as an instructor of this particular course, which is DevOps, and this has two part. One is part one and is part two. Part two is little advanced compared to part one, where we have incorporated GitHub lab Kubernetes on the second part. So the first part, it will consist of 4 week, like daily, every weekend on Saturday this time, and it will go for next 2 hours. Definitely we'll expect some interactive session. We do have some people in this webinar or this workshop with a few of our old students, few of our old students who have already placed in the US job market. So if you have any question, you can ask them. You can ask directly. So there should not be any question left, right? So please wait for another 5-10 minutes, and we are going to start.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm Debashish here. So, how are you today? I know it's a Saturday evening to your place, or maybe morning or afternoon, because we have many students joining with us over all around the world. I mean, and over the globe. Okay, so there is from different time zones. We will just give ourselves some few more minutes. In the meantime, if you have any questions, uh, please uh, go through them. We can go through them. Please shout. We are going to have a session from uh, I think between 2 hours to 2.5 hours. If it is I mean I have gone overboard with in the flow, so you have to forgive me in that case. But at least it will be for 2 hours, and we have divided this program into two parts: the program one and program two. The program one will be having the the various topics in DevOps, which we will go through. We will build our awareness why we are learning DevOps and what are the tools that we should be acquainted. Because uh, I have an experience of over 27 years in this industry, but still I I have actually I preferred to be in a field where I can share my knowledge over DevOps with you. And we had been I had been with Kalkey for the last 3 years, and I have been associated with so many students of us who had a different background. They were not having particularly an IT background, and we chose that okay, there is one way to step into IT, and we can help them in some sort. Because if you are coming from an accounts background, if you are coming from a non-IT background, it becomes very difficult to compete in this very saturated market of IT. There, where will you go? Now, the DevOps is such a subject where we had experimented with those people who are absolutely non-IT guys, especially from those sectors where they have a bit of knowledge on the operating system, some Excel, some Microsoft Word. But to step into an IT field, to change a domain from such a non-IT background to absolutely a IT background, needs some skill upgradation, and that is quite a lot of skill upgradation. We have taken that experiment, and I can tell you, after 3 years, it was almost 1,500 students that we had in these 3 years. And we are very happy to announce that out of this 1,500, almost 1,100 students or our friends have joined good companies who are already they are doing 2 years or 3 years of IT. I mean, in the DevOps field. So we are very happy to announce that, and therefore we have come up with this particular thing that Mr. Menon has suggested, that why don't we open it up for the entire, I mean, if possible, for many of the global zones. Okay, because what is US evening is our morning, India morning, and that suits a lot of people. Okay, we can have a common group of people who can match the time zone, and we can deliver the subject. Okay, we can share our knowledge with them, and we were successful in doing that. And gradually we have seen that it will be, the thing is, we had to be aware of where we stand, how much we can take in this. There is a huge demand of, there is a huge paucity of trained persons in DevOps, in DevSecOps, in cybersecurity, in AI. Okay, these are the things that we had opened up few seminars and webinars, and also this internship. Uh, so we have divided basically this part into two. The program one and the program two will be a bit of advanced DevOps. Unless and until we go through these 4 weeks, 4 weekends of making us aware of DevOps, getting acquainted to the tools, we won't be able to take up the part 2 of this program, which is absolutely free, another 4 weeks of advanced DevOps, where you will see the containerization in an advanced form, which is through Kubernetes. Okay. The scope is limited because we definitely want our students to be enrolled with us for a detailed course where you will learn each and every topics that we discuss over all these 4 weeks. But that will be in details. Here we see many people will join us who are already into DevOps. They are at least doing some part of let's say Linux or cloud. They are into cloud or some Linux job, but they are not particularly into DevOps, in the core DevOps. So let us help them in understanding DevOps, and if they are interested, they can go for further enhancement of their skills. Okay. So this is our purpose. Let's see how much we are successful, how many people can sustain this 4 weeks program. Okay, but I expect lots of people will get a huge benefit out of this. They can immediately start looking for a job after the first month, or if they think that that is not enough, they can enroll with us for further thorough study with detailed lab and project, So let's see how far we can go. So Mr. Menon, it is almost 5 minutes now.
I think we can start.
We just have 20 people, and out of which we are 2. So almost 18 people.
Yeah, so we can start now.
Is it fine? We can start?
Yes, I think we can start now.
Okay, there will be a few questions which I will not be able to see the chat and all those things. So Menon, I will request your help if.
Yeah, definitely I will assist.
Because there is some question like, I am a SYBSc in mathematics. I have career in DevOps, right? Of course. You are far more advanced. And of course, I will also suggest, because you are in mathematics, you can also go for something called cybersecurity and DevSecOps, but only after you have gone through DevOps. Okay. So parallelly, from the next week, we are starting off another stream of sessions for DevSecOps and cybersecurity. Also, those are free. Can we get placement assistance? Mr. Menon, what I will do, I will start off with the session. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can park this question for the timing, and we can attend to those after the session.
Definitely.
Is that fine with all of you? Sure. Thank you. Let me open my video. I am not very comfortable, but anyway, what to do? You should see me, and because then there is, we can be more intimate with ourselves and with the course and with the interaction. So we thought that we should be making ourselves available to you. Let me do one thing. I'm just putting a background, Mr. Menon.
Yeah, any background is good.
Okay. So are you able to see me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So as I said, good morning, good evening, and maybe good afternoon. I'm not very sure, because they are people from the European zone, from US zone, and from Asian zone. Okay. So let me stop the sharing and we will start the sharing again. Are you being able to see the screen? Please, can you respond?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. We have around 20 people, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So let's start. No, it doesn't matter. What we will do, I know many people have lots of questions, but let us be a patient, be a bit patient with us. Have some patience with us, and we will generally cover each and every questions of yours. Okay. Let me go for this screen. Can you see the screen clearly and hear me clear and loud? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Fine. So this is one of the diagrams. This is a very famous, whenever you see this, you have some sort of a feeling. I don't know about you, but what I feel is, I feel a lot of confidence by seeing this particular thing. Why? Because I see this is generally a model of a software development life cycle. Okay. A software development life cycle, SDLC, we generally term it. There are various phases. You see, just 1 minute. So you see there is the planning phase, the implementation or the coding phase, the build phase, the test, release, deploy. Then it comes to the operations team, and they will operate, monitor, give a constant feedback back to the development team and all the stuff. But what I see, there is a handshaking between each of the phases, isn't it? What do you feel? There is nobody's discrete, like in early days, we had every separate departments, each having their own functions. Now, these are the functions. The planning is one function. Planning is one function. Coding or the development is one function. These are the various functions. They were discrete. They were separate. They had no, it was very difficult to communicate with each other in various different phases. Okay. But this particular thing, this is on the left hand side, you will see there is the development and implementation team. On the right hand side, you will see the operations team, the quality, the testing team. Okay. And there is a merger. You cannot distinguish which part is being dealt with a particular department, isn't it? Because they are intertwined. They talk to each other. They have a handshaking between each other. They are separate, but they are not dependent. They are independent, but they are working as a well-oiled machine. Let us move on to the next one, because there we need to see why we are here, why we have gathered here. Okay. So you see there is a software development, and the software development is generally a very process-oriented function, because it's a product. And if you are coming from an engineering background, you see any product needs a lot of planning, lot of thought, lot of design, lot of architecture. They must synchronize with each other to deliver a quality product to the client. And that will go through some life cycle. That is a total life cycle, of a product development. So it is called software development life cycle, SDLC. Okay. And one more thing, we are going to make all these documents available to you, the recording available to you. So don't worry about that part. You need to just follow minutely, and the discussion, you can be a part of this discussion. Let us move on to the next screen. You see, a software development lifecycle is a life cycle. You see a cycle. It's a total circle, and it can go on and on between each and every phase. Planning, it will generally start with the planning. It will start from it is a clockwise thing. You see, it is not anti-clockwise. But yes, it can be anti-clockwise or clockwise. There is no clockwise, anti-clockwise. It is just a iterative cycle. Anyway, so planning, generally the requirements and everything needs a lot of planning to be done. And there you will see it will come to the defining, where the design team and the architect team, the solution architects, will be defining the solution. Then it will come to the designer. Okay, yeah, it will come to the detailed designing part. They will put this into the functional designing. Then the functional design with a UML, that is the some models will be there from the designing team. Those models are basically the blueprint for the developers. The developers, like you are constructing a building. So the engineer will create a blueprint, isn't it? And without that blueprint, the construction work should not happen. Otherwise, the building that will be delivered can be a very weak structure. It can collapse any day. So it needs a proper planning, proper definition of the various aspects of the requirement. You have to define the requirement in a nice way, which is an IT way of defining it. And then you come to the designing. If this is 100% of the work, almost 65 to 70% of the time should be spent on designing. This is the backbone. Anyway, then it comes to the implementation. Here are the developers. They will be using Java, they will be using C++, Python, whatever, you name it. Okay? And that build will be then tested.
I think Ronak has some question.
Ronak, yes, Ronak, please go ahead.
Yeah, sir, as you said that defining is done by solution architecture and building is done by developers, then between the designing, it is done by is there any specific post? I mean, they might have separate that this will do that.
Very good question. Thank you, Ronak. Very good question. Yeah, there is a specialist team called the business analysts. Okay. So whatever you are defining, this definition is from this is the business. Business has given some requirement. Now this requirement is in a very raw form, because the business people know the business. They want a return of investment. They will invest, but they have given some certain problems. The problem statement have been defined that they are having these pain points in running the business. Okay. Now that needs an IT solution, a computerized solution, a solution of some sort. Okay. Because to have them relevant, to be relevant in the market, they need some help of some computerization, because everything is now, automation and everything. So they want to improve on their very slow running processes or whatever. The pain points can be anything, but the requirement has to be defined properly into a technical definition. This is the business definition, planning, or whatever the requirement. This. But then this definition has to be in sync with the requirement, isn't it? Who will validate that? Who will validate whether your technical definition and your business definition are in line? Okay? That will be verified.
Sorry, Mr. Debashish. I think Dharmil has some question as well.
Yeah, sure. Just let me complete this one.
Okay.
For Ronak. Ronak, you see, you have pointed out a very important link between the defining and the designing. Yes, there is a validation checkpoint, and those things are done by the business analyst. Business analyst is a big role. It's a role that is coming up very fast, thick and fast. Okay, they are specialists because they know the business, they know the technical part of it as well. So they can validate the technical definition along with the business definition. Those are business analysts. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Dharmil,
So
please ask your question if you have any.
Sir, can I get information about the DevOps that it is the part of cloud computing, or it is similar, or it is different from cloud computing?
okay, I will be coming to that. Just give me some time. It's a good question. Sure, I will come to that. We are just understanding why we should be learning DevOps. We cannot survive without understanding and implementing some automation into wherever we work, in whichever form we work, in whichever role we work. Okay, so DevOps will certainly help you. Anyway, so the designing, then the blueprint goes to the building. The implementation will start happening, but that build has to be tested. This is a very important function. This is the part of the quality team. Okay, so the quality of the product has to be verified, if to be it has to be proven. Okay, unless and until you pass this testing, it should not be going to the deployment phase. Deployment is where you go to the pre-production for the user. User means our user acceptance testing should happen. What is user acceptance testing? That is, the client will try to validate the product and check whether whatever they required was delivered, and in a very in a quality manner. It should have a good quality of performance, of the look and feel, of whatever, the aesthetics. So many aspects are there for a quality product, and that will be tested after you have deployed into the pre-production. If they give a go ahead, okay, if the client is the sponsors of the project, so the client is the God, they are the God, they will say yes, please go ahead and deploy it to the production. So what will happen? It will be deployed. Now on the production, when it goes to the operations team, because these operations are the owners of the production systems of any organization, so the operations will keep on 24/7 monitoring and a feedback mechanism. So anything goes wrong, any incidents happening, any service quality degradation, or whatever, the performance degradation, whatever, the health of the system is not working, all these things will be checked. The health check will be done. And even if it is on the production, even if the project is over, the project is not yet over for the operation. Operations are not part of the project. Operations have no project. Project has a certain start time and an end time. But operations team work day in and day out for all those products which has gone into production. They are the owners. So if they find something, there will be some incidents raised, and it will again come through this cycle, either through the change request, CR, or enhancement, or whatever. If there is a defect management system. Anyway, we move on to the next slide. I hope we are gradually learning the two very important models of SDLC. This is the waterfall model. Why we are going to learn DevOps is very important to understand the background. The waterfall model and the agile model. Now you have come across this term agile. You also know waterfall model, I'm very sure. I will say the waterfall model was not is. It is a past tense. It was a very popular model, and it was the only model available. Okay, but the success ratio, the success rate of a project in this waterfall model was very, very poor. Almost 65 to 70% or 75% of the projects failed. The criteria for failing of a project, there are lots. I can keep on going and on, but I'm not going to do that. That is a project management aspect, but I will restrict my temptation to do that, because I had been a project manager for IBM for the last, say, 10, 11 years. Okay, I will not go into that aspect. It's a very, very favorite topic of mine, but I will not go there. Anyway, but I have seen 70 to 75% of the projects in IBM failed because there was only a waterfall model. And IBM is a very costly solution, for the clients who are going for IBM as a vendor. They are investing a lot of money. But end of the day, after a year of the project, it was found that the project is a failure. If not whole, but partly it is a failure. A failure is a failure. A project is successful when there is no failure. The product is absolutely to the liking of the customer. Even if there is 10% of disliking, or there is some bugs, or there is some defects, or the performance is not up to the mark, it is considered a failure. Even if 80%, 90% is success, because of 10%, it is considered a failure. Okay, customer can scrap the project, or customer can penalize heavily to IBM, or for that matter, any vendor. We will understand why the waterfall model fails. Then there came the agile model, and with the agile model came the DevOps. So I can say, what is first, whether the egg or the hen? There is a big fallacy. Whether the egg came first or the hen, there is no straightforward answer to that. So there is no straightforward answer to that, whether DevOps came first or the agile. I can say DevOps cannot exist without agile. Agile cannot exist without DevOps. And there is a success rate of between 90 to 95% in agile. And then you will say that is waterfall model entirely discarded? I will say no. There are some very critical, complex projects still existing where they apply the hybrid model, 70% agile, 30% waterfall, and that will make it a hybrid model. But we are not going to that discussion. Again, I'm saying I'm trying to restrict myself on this topic. Now, waterfall model. By seeing this, what impression do you get? Are you getting some impression? That doesn't it appear to you that it is a very confident model? Very confident. It only thinks that I can move forward. There is no chance of a failure. Isn't it a hidden theme by seeing this model? What do you think? What I'm saying is, by seeing this, I have a feeling that the project manager of this project is a very confident guy. He has not made any provision such that it can go back. There is no failure at the beginning. So what happens if there is some failure at this stage? You have no other way but to go back right from this stage. Isn't it correct? You have the requirements, the business requirements, you convert that into a technical design. Okay, the business requirement was converted to a technical. See, every phase will have a exit gate. So there is an approval process. So the requirements are frozen at the very beginning. Now let's say this is a project of AT&T. AT&T is a telecom giant, and they have given a project to IBM. IBM is a service giant. Okay, so both giants have met together for a project, and the project is for 1 year. So AT&T has given IBM a project for 1 year. So in the first phase of the year, of the 1 year project, the requirements is a very vital phase. But what the project manager and the model will suggest is that you have to freeze the requirement. So the requirements are frozen at the very beginning. So what happens? That in this 1 year project, on the very first month, you have frozen the requirements. So in this entire 12 months, there is no scope of changing the requirements. Is it good or bad? 1 year is a big time. Think of an IT of a product of for 1 year. Within that, the customer preferences might change. The market dynamics are very dynamic. They will not be static. So 1 year, nobody is going to be staying at the same position. So the market dynamics change very fast every day. So the point is, after 1 year, let's say the project is very successful. So project was deployed to the production environment after 12 months. Okay, it's a huge success. But when the product came to the market is already 1 year advanced. The product becomes obsolete. Is that good product or a bad product? If you have designed a product which does not go into the market, or the market does not accept it because the market thinks that this product, the innovation is already is there in the market. The novelty is no longer there because there are some other competing brand who has come up with a better feature, better product, which is very much in tune with the current requirement. So the requirements 12 months back, the requirements were frozen. There were no scope to change the requirements along the 1 year. So is it a good model or a bad model?
Bad model.
Yes, I will not say bad model because at that time we didn't have any other model to follow. See, as a project manager, I will start from this. In fact, a project manager will be available for the entire duration of the project till the project goes to whom? Till the project, because a project means what? It will have a starting date and an ending date. Otherwise, there is no project. Project must have a finite start date and a finite end date. It is bound by timeline. It cannot go beyond time. Otherwise, it's again a failure. You cannot exceed the golden rule, golden triangle. Golden triangle, you know? The time, the quality, the cost. You have to be within that triangle. The time, quality and cost. The quality of the product, the time of the product, the cost of the product, the timelines of the product. So you cannot, if one of the angles, it has to be an equilateral triangle. 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degree. All the sides equal. So you cannot obtuse it. Okay. Otherwise, there is a penalty. The client is sitting on top of you. If you have exceeded the timeline, if you have exceeded the budget, the cost, if you have exceeded or if you have not expected, you have not delivered to the expected quality, any of these 3 parameters gone wrong, the project is considered failure. Are you getting me? So the thing is, however confident I am, however experienced I am as a project manager, I think that I can only move forward. Every step will be a success. There is no looking back. But that assumption is itself faulty. Because testing, when it comes to in the 9th month of testing, the testing finds a lot of bug because the development team has given all the features in one go. They have not given one by one. They have not divided it in phases. Okay, so that is the testing there can be hundreds of bugs. So it will again go back to the development, because unless and until testing team gives a green signal, go ahead, it will not be deployed to the pre-production. Even the testing team gives a go ahead, the customer might find on the pre-production server after it has been deployed that no, I do not like this product. There are lots of things that has been given to me which I didn't want, and whichever I wanted was not delivered to me in a correct way. So again, it will come back to where? To the design. The requirements you cannot change. It can never go back to the requirements. It will again come back to the design. Again, there will be a change in the design because maybe they have overlooked some requirements in a particular way. So it will again come back to the development, again go to the testing, again there will be a to and fro between the development and the testing. And you see, you are already talking about the 9th month. You had only 3 months, and after it has gone back to the design, again it has taken few months. So on the 12th month, you are still between all these phases. Are you happy? As a project manager, I am not happy. My confidence is broken. I thought I was very confident with the success of the project, but ultimately, practically, it failed. IBM got a penalty, huge penalty. So the profit margin of IBM. So why it's a failure? Because the estimated profit for IBM was not at all there. In fact, it has exceeded the loss part. Because do you think that the designer will not charge the time? There will be a time sheet because there is an extra effort. Again, they have to design it. Again, the development. But the customer is not going to pay you a single penny more as per the agreement, as per the contract. If this is a $1 million project, they will not spend 1,000,001 cent. Okay. So I think I have explained you. I think you are good enough to understand the drawbacks of this waterfall. It's a beautiful model, no doubt. There are lots of success as well. I'm not saying that it is entirely bad, but it needs improvement. The model, basically, intrinsically, it has a inherent drawback, fault. Let us move ahead. We have an agile model. Can you see? We have not frozen on the requirement. What it is saying? It is a priority request. So whatever request or what the story, the feature, Agile will always deal with the stories and the issues. Okay. So there is a backlog. I will not go into again. There is a lot of temptation for me to talk at length on this subject, but I will not. I will restrict that. Only I will like to highlight the point is that there is no freezing of the requirement. That is the best part of it. Whichever at this moment, in this coming 1 month, which are the features which is very much in demand in the market, the business owner along with the agile team will decide on that. And the one big advantage of an agile team is that there is no project manager. There is, see, in a waterfall model, a project manager, the design team, the development team, they had to make a lot of documentation, because based on the documentation, the client will be giving a go ahead. For each of this, you have to get an approval from the client based on the documentation. The client will see the product only in the pre-production and the UAT, user acceptance testing, not even in the SIT, system integration testing. But the each and every stage, it can come from development to the testing after there is an exit gate approval. Okay, so there is a design document which has to be approved by the client. There's a lot of documentation. I'm not going to the details of it. There is the minimum amount of documentation, and that documentation is any development team, any team hates documentation. Don't you hate documentation? I at least hate. Being a project manager, my 90% of my job was to document it, such that I do not miss out a point. There will be a lot of risk. I have to do a risk management, stakeholder management. These are the management things which depends on how I capture the risk, how I document it, how I save my back with the client. Because if I do not have an imagination, innovation, I will see each and every time the customer will catch me on the wrong foot. So I have to save my back. I have to save my my teams back from all the risk. I have to do a lot of assumption and get this risks, assumptions, issues all captured and approved, that the customer gives a nod that, okay, I accept the risk. So it is a risk that I understand. If I can do that, I am a very successful project manager, because I am delegating that risk and transferring that risk to the customer. I am not taking that risk on my shoulders. I am saving a lot of harassment, a lot of money for my company. So, but that depends on the skills of a project manager, how you document it and all those stuff. So there's a lot of dependency of project manager in a waterfall model. But whereas in the agile model, there is no project manager. That is the beauty of it. There is only one person in a scrum sort of a setting. It is called servant leader. Servant leader is never a project manager. That the very word servant is there. Servant means you are serving the team, the agile team. You are connecting between the agile team and the business owner. Business owner is from the client side. That a servant leader does not dictate any terms to the team. The agile team is the owner of the product. They will make their own designs, their own decisions. They will approve. Of course, they will discuss with the servant leader. They will discuss with the business owner. There will be a stand-up call every day between the business owner and the agile team. So beauty is that it is very short burst of development. It is not a big bang sort of delivery. Big bang means you give it all together in one go, and it can fail in one go. You are not failing in the very early stage. In this, there is a sorry state. You are not failing in the early state. But here, you are failing in the early stage. There is a mechanism that you must fail in the early stage. You should not fail in the last stage. If you are failing at this stage, then it's a big headache. You can fail at this stage. So you go back, refine the design, business requirement, all those things. But if you fail at this stage, it's a big problem. So you must fail between the priority requesting. You are creating a backlog. You study the market. The business owner will give you that I want this. Just 1 minute. These are my first 5 important requirements. These are having business value. So if you can deliver me these 5 features in the first month, okay, in an agile month, in the first month, in the sprint of a 1 month sprint, 4-week sprint, then I am very happy. So in short burst sprint, 100-meter sprint. Can you say 10,000 meter sprint? No. You say a marathon run. You say a 10,000 meter run. You never say a 100-meter run. You say 100-meter sprint, 200-meter sprint. But so you are running a sprint, a very short sprint. And that is possible because you are not giving everything in one shot. You are giving 5 features in 1 month. Fine. It comes to the design. Design will be very simple because you do not need to do a lot of documentation and this and that, because you do not waste your time on documentation. There are many principles of agile, and those principles are towards the customer satisfaction. It is not the satisfaction of the project manager. Project manager has nothing to do. There is no ego satisfying of the project manager, because most of the agile, the waterfall model fails because of the project managers. They think they know everything, but actually they do not. Being a project manager, I can tell you, there is a lot of ego issues with the project manager in a project. That is a bad part. Clear? So you pick up the 5 from the backlog, first 5 very important features that are required by the customer. And because here the customer designing the bucket for you. Customer is saying that I need these features. And during the long run, after the 1 month, the bucket can be modified because maybe there are few of the requirements that will come up the ladder because they might be priority. So this bucket keeps on, it's a very, very dynamic bucket, sprint bucket, you can say, the backlog bucket. And that is how it becomes a successful project because the design is just based on those 5 requirements. Coding comes. So from the very first day, the testing team is involved because on the very first day, you can expect the developer has given some part of code for testing to the testing team. So if you have made an agile, a pipeline, an automation pipeline, so some part of it will come for the release and deployment on the very first day because there is an automation pipeline. And these are the pipelines that we are going to learn in our DevOps journey. Clear? It is the shorter development life cycles. By not releasing all the features at one go, it is an incremental model of development. That is the beauty. So there are lots of advantages. Okay. So therefore, now I'm sure that you have started to think in a DevOps way, in an agile way, isn't it? Agile means what? Fast. You think fast, implement fast. There is no whimsical part of somebody's thinking, somebody is trying to give some innovative ideas. No, there is no time of all those things. We know what to do. We as an agile team are the owners. Everything will depend on us. We will take a decision by ourselves because we understand DevOps very well. We are part of the DevOps lifecycle. At this moment, I will take a pause, and if you have any questions, you can please let me know.
Hello.
No questions? Yeah. Hello.
Can you please tell me why there is so hype of being a DevOps nowadays? Why this is a growing
Why?
career?
It is in one word, because there is a lot of things which goes into this question and this answer to answer this. Okay. I think you were asking why it is so much in demand, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Because if in a software company, there are 2 parts. There is the developers and the operations. And these 2 are the very important facets of a company, of a software company, and wherever you are going to work. Okay, in that sort of a business scenario, your automation plays a big role. And automation is only possible when you have a supportive model, and that supportive model is an agile model. Okay, and agile can only be supported in terms of software, I mean the tools which are DevOps tools. Why DevOps? It is called you are part of developers and the operations. So dev and ops. So because you are coming in between. It is not only that is the reason, because the main reason for DevOps being in the market is it is having some fantastic tools which can help you in automate the entire process of a software development lifecycle. In short, to answer your question, that question needs a lot of discussion. That answer will need a lot of discussion. It is not a very simple and straightforward way to answer it. I will be not justifying that question at all if I just very simply try to explain that. But at least at this point of time, you must know that every other company is seeking for automation in their organization. They have age-old processes. They are lacking the agility to deliver fast. So now all these old companies are coming up. They are forced, because of the market dynamics, they are forced to be much more on their foot. Okay, because they have been pushed to the edge. Now they have to come out, they have to struggle out from that pass, and therefore they have adopted automation. And to do automation, you need certain tools, and those tools are provided by DevOps. That's why if you know those tools, how to make them speak to each other and provide a pipeline of automation, then you are very much sought after in this industry. Getting me? More or less, I'm sure it needs a lot of discussion, but at least you have got some essence out of it. Right?
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Hello.
Now,
Sir, may I?
yeah, tell me, go ahead.
Yes, basically, sir, I want to clarify that DevOps roles is that type of role that it accept the requirements of the updated new instructions, and they will do give the work to the particular developer and do the particular task rather than following the such type of old task.
You come in between. Let me explain this part. Okay. So that role will automatically be very clear to you. You are neither a developer, nor you are the tester, nor you are in the operations team. You are not an operations guy. You are in between. You have come up with the tools. Let me explain that part. Let me through the slides. Okay. So there are distinct developers and there are operations guy. So there is a software company. This company will always be having developers and the operations. The software quality was improved. We will have software company, but the good developers can deliver good products. That's no doubt of it. You know why operations guy are very resistant to changes? Can you answer that question? Why the operations guy will be very much finicky about any change? They are very much sensitive to any change. They are resistant to changes. Why?
Yes, sir. Because backend part is the very hardest part, because if any changes have been needed, so we have to update the particular databases and particular operations or particular instructions that, for example, we can say foreign key or primary key. So that's type of queries are been harder than.
Yeah, you had made a technical aspect very good. That's very true. But the operations are the owner of the products. So developers are not the owner. They will develop, they will do all those the designing, they will follow the design and they will deliver the product. But the product, when it goes to the production of a company, the operations guys are the owners. That means whatever there is a problem in that in the production servers or on the product, it will come on to the operations guy. They are the backbone of the companies, software companies. Why? Because the customers will know about this guy, operations. They will raise an incident to this operations team. Operations team has to handle all these things. They will find out, okay, it has to go back to the developer, or it may go to the testing team, or it may go to the DevOps guy. There may be some problem in the pipeline. Okay, so many things are there. They are the people who are responsible for anything. So they will not want any garbage to come into the production. Isn't it true? The garbage in is garbage out. So if the product is not of highest standard, highest quality, it can create issues for these guys. So they will try to resist as much as possible. They will not allow any bugs, any defects into the system. Because after all, they have to be in the late in the night, they will be called. There is some issue, they will come running. They will open their bikes and they will reach the office at any point of 2 a.m. in the night. They cannot sleep. They are responsible guys. Whereas this developer is sleeping at that moment. They are not responsible. Their project is over. The project has been handed over to the operations team. So the operations will not let these guys play with the system. So there is a lot of fight between these two guys. They say, no, I have given you the best product. They say, no, I will not allow, even if the testing team has found out one single bug, they will not allow. Even if it is very minuscule, it's okay. I will not allow. No. They are very strict guys. And why not? Because they are facing the music. Therefore, there is some issue. These people have a lot of ego, developers. 16 years of development experience. Okay, you are getting a lot of salary. Okay, this poor guy is not getting that much of salary. Okay, but you do not have any right to play with our life. Their life becomes a hell because of these guys. They are very egocentric. They think whatever they are, they know a lot. They know absolutely everything. It is not the fact. He may be very good, but that does not allow him to give these guys a nightmare. Okay? So there will be a lot of tussle. They are very resistant to any change. They will not allow any change. If they have to allow, because they have to be part of the project, they have to allow, but they will then make all the provisions to give them a hard time. And that is good. They need to. So developer's job is to develop applications, pass his code to the operations team. The operations team job is to test the code, provide feedback to the developers in case of bugs. If all goes well, the operations team uploads the code to build the servers. That is the ideal situation. But what happens? The developer used to run the code on his system and then forward it to the operations team. The operations team, when tried to run on the code, it failed. It happens because these guys operate on a different environment. They have tuned their environment to pass that code. They are very manipulative, you know. These guys are, I know you are having friends with the development team, but that's okay. I'm not going to that aspect, but these guys are very manipulative. They try to push in everything and try to justify whatever they have done is the correct one, but that is not the fact. They will say, no, it's not my fault, but then the operations guys say, this is marked as a faulty code. You please do something about it. I am not going to accept it. That's true. So this led to a lot of back and forth between the developer and the operations team. Okay? Because there is a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of firefighting. I'm not saying they are fighting with each other, but there is a lot of time lag, delay. They are not accepting what they are giving. And these guys are not accepting their feedback. So actually the project is impacted. They cannot play with the company's money. Companies providing their salary and all those stuff. So they have to ensure that they are absolutely within the timeline bound. They are bound with the timelines. So the situation is very bad. What I'm saying is the situation is very bad. It is happening. Now you pitch in with a lot of tools. You means you as a DevOps guy. And you are the person who has solved a problem between the developers and the operations. Why, you know? What happened? What did you do to solve the problem? Now you will be getting some answer of your question. Why companies are looking for DevOps guys? Not only to solve the problem between developers and operations, but to give some value addition to the company's processes. Why? Why can just in simple word, can I know what did you understand by having some tools in between the developers? Think this, the left hand side is the developers, the right hand side is the operations guys. What did you introduce? You introduced some automation tools. So a developer cannot challenge the tool. Can a developer challenge a tool? A developer without these tools can always challenge the tester. The developer can say, oh, okay, see, I am 16 years old and experience, and you have just joined the company. You are only 1 year experience in your testing. So you do not teach me, they will say. They are very egocentric. But when the tester has come up with some tools given by the DevOps team, then the results of the tool says that there are bugs. Can the developer challenge that result? I don't think so. If he is going in a challenging mode, then he can lose their job, because you are going against some proven tool. These tools are very much proven industry standard tools, so you cannot challenge them. And naturally, from the day one, once the results have been proven inside the tools, this guy has become very humble. This guy can now start talking. There is a meaningful talking, exchange of ideas between these two teams. Who has done this transformation? You have done this transformation with the help. You are helping the developers, you are helping the testers and the operations team. Even you are helping with some tools like Jira, you are helping the project management as well, the management team as well, the planning team as well. So these tools are fantastic tools. If you know few of these very important tools, you are very much in demand in the market. Did I answer your question? Somebody asked me why there is a huge demand of DevOps. And if you can implement automation, you are saving a lot of time. Time is money. A 1 month's timeline given to you, you are delivering within 2 weeks. Isn't it saving a lot of money? Yes. And not only money, it is the satisfaction of a team that they are champions. They are having some tools, some model, agile model to work on. Therefore, they can deliver any project within any timeline. You have solved the problem. Okay, this is just the same, whatever I discussed, it is the same thing. So DevOps, going through another perspective, it is not a tool. DevOps itself is not a tool. Yeah, DevOps is you can say it's a methodology. In short, it's a mindset. You are always thinking about automation. Think of a situation where an operations guy comes every day, will run a particular script again and again, the same script. Can you think after a year, will that operations guy, however money he might get, salary he might get a good amount of salary, but is he happy with the job? He is doing the same iterative job every day. Every day comes to the morning after he has had a coffee. What he does is run that script. That script will do something. Okay. After that script is over, he will run another script. That will do a batch of job. And the entire day he will keep on running this and that. He is doing nothing innovative. The entire day day in and day out, 24/7, all the 30 days and all the 365 days, the job definition, the job role remains the same. Will it, after a year, will he not get a monotony? He will get bored because there is no development, there is no growth in his career. Okay.
Sorry
So,
to interrupt. I think
yeah,
is it a good time because Tessie has some question and she's
yeah,
waiting
yeah,
for.
sure, sure. Always,
Yeah,
always, always.
yeah, Tessie, please
Anytime is
go
a
ahead.
question time. Yes, yes.
Hi, thank you so much. Your lecture is so insightful. So I just joined and I'm wondering, is the job of a DevOps the same as that of a business analyst, since the business analyst is also a bridge between the stakeholders and the development team. But what I'm hearing you here, you say the DevOps is a bridge between the development team and the operation team. So can it be likened? I just wanted to speak to that. Thank you.
Why not? Thank you. It's a fantastic question. DevOps, I am saying that it's not a defined role. It is if the person, if that business analyst can bring in some perspective, a new dimension to the process, he is also a DevOps guy. It is not necessary that he has to know a particular tool to be a DevOps engineer. No, it's a concept, it's a mindset. So if you can bring in some value addition to your agile team or to that project, you are also a DevOps guy. So if you are good, I'm not saying that you are a good developer, then you are not part of DevOps. You are also part of DevOps. DevOps is just a philosophy, it's a mindset. A developer will always help to have some automation. So a developer is, though he is a developer, but he is also a DevOps guy. An operations guy is he is doing some automation from his part, or he is using Nagios. Okay, let's say I'm taking an example, or a Splunk. Okay, so that operations guy is also a DevOps guy because he is using a tool which is part of a DevOps lifecycle, because that tool is monitoring the health of the system, is monitoring the whether there is a bug, whether there is a defect, whether some server has gone down, whether the application is running very slow. There is an SLA breach. That means there was supposed to be 10,000 requests per second, but now the performance of the software has gone down. He is finding that through the tool, Nagios tool or the Splunk tool, he is finding that right now it is only 3,000 requests coming per second instead of 10,000. So immediately there will be an alarm raised. So is he not contributing to the DevOps cycle? Because that there is an automated alarm when it crosses that threshold, or there is 80% of CPU or 90% of the CPU got exhausted or used. So there will be an alarm. That alarm mechanism, whenever there is a threshold breach, so that is also part of that automation monitoring. Okay, so there will be a trigger going back to the maybe the development team, that your performance has come down, or there is a huge memory blockade or memory leakage, or some server has hung, some Kubernetes pod has gone down, and it has not replicated another one in its place. So all these things are, see, it is not a very specific kind of a role. You are a person with a huge playground to play. So DevOps is a huge playground, and you can be you can be a stopper back, or you can be a forward, you can be a half, if I'm talking about football or a soccer match or a game. You can be a goalkeeper. Okay, so it is in this playground, everyone is a DevOps guy. There is no, as such, a hardcore definition. So think of DevOps as a methodology, a mindset. As we learn deeper and deeper into the DevOps with the tools, you will understand the beauty of it. Why industry is looking for DevOps guys who knows the essence. Did I answer your question a bit? Maybe not fully.
You did excellently. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's go ahead. Okay. So the primary phases of DevOps lifecycle will be development. In this DevOps stage, the development of software takes place constantly. There is a term called continuous integration, CI, and a continuous delivery and a continuous deployment. It is called CD. So in all, we say CI/CD pipelines, automation pipelines. So development takes a lot of important stage over here. Testing, QA team uses, DevOps team will have some tools to speed up software development and delivery process. We will learn about those tools. Testing team, in essence, it's a testing team, but they are also part of this DevOps lifecycle. So QA team use tools like Selenium or JUnit. Selenium is a very fantastic automation tool to identify and fix bugs in the new piece of code. So they have a very good tool. Nobody can challenge them now. So development team or the developers who are very egocentric, they always keep on giving a lot of hard time to the testing team. Nowadays, the testing team and the development team work along with each other. They are good friends. They have coffee with each other. Okay, because that transformation has happened because of you. You have introduced the Selenium in the pipeline. In this stage, new functionality is integrated with the prevailing code and testing tick.
Hello.
So your mic is off.
Yeah, you are mute, Mr. Devashish. Let me unmute. You are mute.
Oh, okay. Sorry. There was some surge, and the connection had gone off. I'm very sorry for that. Can you right now hear me and see the screen?
Yeah, everything is back normal, so nothing to worry.
This screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Anyway, so it is easier said than to understand at this stage, but this is just the beginning. So integration, there is a continuous integration, and there is a continuous deployment, and there is a continuous monitoring. So these will be a continuous, like you have seen the first diagram, that spiral one, okay, not the spiral one, horizontal 8. So whatever it is, that will keep on constantly development, constant testing, constant continuous integration, continuous deployment, and continuous monitoring. These are the phases of DevOps lifecycle. So what are the DevOps principles? Like the Agile principles, it is the same as the Agile principle. There are 6 principles. It has to be, you always think of the customer. You never think of your satisfaction. Yeah, you have to be satisfied yourself to make the customer satisfied. But your entire profile will be customer centric. And that is also the DevOps principle. You have to have an end-to-end responsibility, that you are a DevOps guy, so I will not look after the operations team. No, because you are a DevOps guy, you have to take care of the development of a development team. You are a friend to the development team, you are a friend to your testing team and the operations team, as well as your management team, the design team. Everyone is it is your responsibility, such that it is a seamless integration between all those phases or functions. It is your responsibility to continuously improve the process, the automation, automate everything, whatever feasible. You know why? During the automation, you discard the lean parts, the missing links, or the weaker links. That's why agile teams are very small teams. It is not like the waterfall teams following the waterfall model. The agile model teams are very small. They are hardly between 7 to 9 guys. But those 7 to 9 guys are expert in their own fields, as well as they have cross-functional knowledge. So a testing team also knows a bit of sort of your operations activities, as well as the quality aspects, as well as some development aspects. A DevOps guy will know a bit of cloud, a bit of Linux, a bit of clustering with Kubernetes, and so many things. He is a jack of all and master of all. Maybe not master of everything, but at least the important things that are needed for automation. Automation or DevOps also rely on this principle: work as one team. You do not consider yourself as a developer. You do not consider yourself as an operations guy. You always say, I am one team. I am the project team. Yeah, my specialty is in operations. Fine. I'm a specialist testing team, tester, or a developer. But I say I am a DevOps team, agile team. Monitor and test everything. Yes. This is because you always have a motto to fail in the beginning, not in the end. Okay? You fail in the beginning and not in the end. There are so many other reasons, that predictability, reproducibility, maintainability, time to market, cost efficiency. You can go on and on with the positive aspects of DevOps. See, a traditional IT versus DevOps. Why somebody asked why it is much more industry oriented. This traditional IT is going slowly on the wane. They are getting discarded by the business houses because it is less productive, whereas DevOps is more productive. It is very skill centric. But here in DevOps, team is divided into specialized silos. Silos means you do not have any dependency on any particular skill. You may be specialized on a particular skill, but you can contribute to any other aspects, any other functions. This is very important. Today's modern IT guys, or the modern the young guys, they are not restricted to one specific knowledge area. I am an aged person, I am an old person, but I can understand that when I stepped into DevOps, when I was in project management, I stepped into DevOps first, say almost like 6 years back, okay, from today, in 2017 and 18. I came into DevOps because my project was transitioning from Waterfall model to the Agile model. So I had to know about DevOps, and I happened to have a good guru, and he taught me DevOps. It took me a bit of time to understand, but once I got the you know, I could understand the beauty of it, I was into it. And today I have left IBM, I have joined Kalkey. I am in the training team because towards the end of my IBM project management role, I was doing, I was training because nobody knew about DevOps. So my program managers, my leaders used to ask me to, because I was a bit into, I used to train people. Even if I was a project manager, I was entrusted with the job of training the new guys because they were not at all aware of DevOps. So once I was having that knack of training my team into DevOps, I then thought, okay, I got a chance to, I got an opportunity with Kalkey, and I thought, why not? It's a new thing, because I am going to retire after a few years, so why not I delve into a new domain? So I can feel the new batch of people coming into IT, they are not specialized into one activity area. And I can play a major role in training them, because that is the essence of DevOps. You need not be very a particular skill oriented person. You need to know each and everything. May not be in total deep level. Yeah, over the years you go into deeper aspects, but initially you must know a bit of each and everything. Okay, and that is provided by DevOps. That's the beauty of DevOps. Many people coming from accounts background, they had got taught with us accounts background. They were coming from some other background, so many backgrounds. We took them as a challenge, and they are now doing job with IT industry. They are in good companies. They are 2 or 3 years experience in DevOps, but they were absolutely nil about IT. They didn't have any background. So DevOps is one field where even the non-technical guys, non-IT guys can step in and can gradually go into the inroads of IT, make a very good inroad. Okay, more time invested in planning. As I said, traditional IT is all project management based, project planning and all those stuff. Here you are smaller and frequent releases. You are into smaller and frequent releases, lead to easy scheduling and less time in planning. And also I should have included and documentation. There is very less documentation. Difficult to achieve target or goal. As I said, almost 75% of the projects failed. Whereas frequent releases with continuous feedback makes achieving targets easy. That is the beauty of Agile and DevOps. You see, there are lots of very important DevOps tools. I can name a few, and we are in our courses, we are training people on very important tools like version control, which is Git or GitHub. We have a container management with Docker, Kubernetes. Okay, is this very important aspect of DevOps, Docker and Kubernetes. Performance monitoring we do not do. We used to teach on Nexus and Nagios, but we are not doing that right now because of the This is mostly for the operations who are very much interested to go into operations. They can go for Nagios and monitoring tools. But we teach the configuration management tool, like very important is your GitLab. The Git. You have the Ansible. We do not teach about Chef. Chef is much more difficult than Ansible. Ansible is much more easier and much more accepted, much more popular in the industry. And then we have a deployment automation. We used to teach your Jenkins, but Jenkins nowadays is taking a back step in competition with GitLab. We are teaching the CI/CD pipeline, automation pipeline with GitLab. This testing tool, Selenium, is very much for the testing team. And another infrastructure as code tools, we teach Terraform. We used to teach the build tool Maven, but yes, we also give our lectures, the recordings and the notes on Maven for people to pick it up. These are build tools. These are the very important tools helping in automation. So this is a very interesting diagram that we see, that it is this is a planning, code, build, test. These are the life cycle, This is the DevOps life cycle: plan, code, build, test, and deploy, operate, monitor. You see, there is a pipeline flowing between plan, code, build, test, deploy, operate, and monitor. And again, going back to monitor from plan, this is a continuous integration and continuous deployment and delivery. These are the various tools. So in the planning tool, you have very important tool called Jira. Yeah, we will go with the Jira aspects with GitLab. Okay, though GitLab is a pipeline integration tool like Jenkins. Okay, this is the Git. Today I intend to give some hands-on on Git. Though you may or may not learn a lot, but that is in our main course that you will learn the details. But I will give you a awareness of Git. So Git is a version control tool. The build tools like the Maven, the Gradle, the Apache Ant. Ant was very popular earlier, but Maven, after Maven, advent of Maven, everything is Maven. Everything is Maven. Yeah, Gradle is also popular, but Maven is much more versatile. The JUnit and Selenium, these are the automation tools used by the testing team. You pitch in with GitLab as an integration between the various tools. We will do project in our main course. We will do project. You will see how beautifully the GitLab will integrate Git, Terraform, Docker, your Ansible, and then with the cloud, with the AWS Cloud, AWS CLI, and all the stuff. So many things are there. Actually, I'm getting excited whenever I go through each and every day when I teach people around DevOps. There is no end, and so much of beauty is there. On the right hand side, which is the operations domain, you will find the Docker. Though I'm saying operations domain, this is on the left hand side is the developers domain, operations domain. You are omnipresent, you are omnipotent. Omnipresent means you are present everywhere. Omnipotent means you are all powerful. Okay, because you are not restricted in any of the single domain. No, you are everywhere, because you know Git, you know Jira, you know Maven, you know Selenium, you know GitLab or Jenkins, you know Docker, you know Terraform, you know Ansible, maybe you know Nagios as well. So these are the various important DevOps tools. As I said, this is the continuous development, continuous testing, the build and test, plan and code development. There is a continuous integration between all these phases. continuous deployment, deploy and operate and monitor, continuous monitoring. The DevOps lifecycle divides the SDLC lifecycle into the following stages. So can you see we have started with the SDLC lifecycle, and now we are seeing the DevOps lifecycle has actually divided the SDLC lifecycle in this way. And
So,
this is one of the
so I have
yes,
a good question. That question was asked by Sanket. So he
Sanket.
asked like so many tools are there in the DevOps. So
Mhm.
how fresher can cope, can able to do and cope up with that?
Yes, we have been doing that for the last 3 years, my dear friend. And as I was telling again and again, because I know this is the point, it is hogging your brain or your mind, that how am I going to, because I may not be that much into IT. Okay, so how I may cope up with this thing. There is this schedule. We will go you. It is not that in overnight I will make you a DevOps guy. I cannot promise that. That is a false promise. So we take 1.5 months for almost 75 hours, rigorous training, 5 days, 2 hour, 2.5 hours a day for 5 days in a week for 1.5 weeks, 1.5 months, that is 6 weeks. Today it's a 2 hour session. So I cannot, I'm trying to make you aware. I am trying to induct you to a beautiful field called, or beautiful area called DevOps. That is my whole purpose. And if you ask me, I'm there because I have seen over these 3 years, there were 1,500 people whom we have trained through Kalkey. And out of those 1,500 people or students, almost, as I said, 1,100 people are already into the job market. And out of this 1,500 people, almost 70% of them were non-IT background. If they can do, why not you? And
Now,
we have selected only those tools
yes.
which are very much relevant, which are very much popular in the market. I'm not going to, that's why we have discarded Jenkins. We have started with GitLab, the last 4 batches.
Furthermore, I would
Because,
like to add
yeah,
that
please.
as a fresher, you don't need to learn all of those tools. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Devashish. So, there are
Yeah.
mainly 5 tools is mostly important, and apart from
Yes.
that, one cloud and basic understanding or command on Linux. So, these
Yeah.
areas, if you have the idea and if you can manage these 5 and 2 other segment, you can have at least 1.5 or 2 years of hands-on experience in as a DevOps engineer. So and I can tell you that most any experienced DevOps engineer who is working right now in the industry, even they don't know all of those tools, because every segment of DevOps pipeline there are 3 or 4 option of tools,
Alternatives.
alternative tools.
Yes.
Yes, so you don't need to
Yes.
learn all of them, only one is enough.
And the beauty is that, see, one of the tools, if you learn, it is like maybe you have learned Jenkins, okay, and in your company, if they are using GitLab, doesn't matter. It will not take you. It will take you hardly 7 days to pick up GitLab, because they are having the same technology. Only the way you do the pipeline in Jenkins are a bit different than in GitLab. That's the only difference. The technology remains the same. If you learn cloud on AWS, you do not need to learn another cloud on Azure or your Google Cloud or IBM Cloud or Oracle Cloud. Okay, so cloud is cloud. The technology you must know. We are over here. We will make you aware of the technology. If you can learn the technology well, you are there. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is a very important diagram. You see, this is the developer who initiates the development and puts that development or the source code into the version control system. This is called the GitHub, and it's a very popular tool. Everywhere, each and every person who is a developer, who is a DevOps guy, who is a operations guy, testing guy, they are all using this version control tool called Git. Okay, if I get some time today, I will have some hands-on demo, a bit of a section of Git. So this is a pipeline. The white one, you see, the arrow one, is a pipeline. So this code which was delivered into this one will trigger this particular GitHub will trigger the pipeline with the help of a tool called either GitLab or Jenkins, whatever you say. This is an integration. You can see that this is an orchestra. If there is an orchestra, a musical orchestra, and this is the conductor of the orchestra, the maestro. Like you have heard Jubin Mehta, the maestro. Okay.
She cannot work if she's doing a BSc. So I don't know, like now if you finish now, you're coming to Canada for your master's. You'll be working and you'll be doing your master's. You can conveniently pay your school fees and take care of yourself.
So
I don't know if people understand. I can't.
Sorry, I think that was just by there was not any question to me. Is that right?
Yes, I think there is some somebody
Okay.
unintentionally unmute his
Okay.
mic.
Yeah, I understand. That's okay. So there is this is the tool. We will learn how to get that particular code into some build server. There will be a build, and through a Docker and Maven and whatever, there will be a containerization, and that will be deployed into a particular server for testing. So there, after it has been deployed, there will be Selenium testing or whatever testing it is. And then if there is a node, go ahead, it will be deployed to a pre-production server. That is through a pipeline again. Everything is through a pipeline. Automation. This is automation. And there will be a UAT happening. The UAT results, the feedback will go back to the development team because there is a continuous feedback mechanism through the pipeline. And if the feedback is positive, the developer and the final release will be delivered, and that release will be tested again, and then it will go to the production. So that is happening. But if the feedback on the UAT was not correct, what will happen? It will go back to the developer with a negative feedback. That means there should be some more development or some corrections to the development. It will come to the version control, and again similarly it will be picked up, built, and then delivered. Testing team, there will be again a testing. If everything goes right, it will again go to the pre-production. Again there will be a UAT, and this process keeps on continuing. So there is a continuous development. There is a continuous integration. You see what the developer has put into the DevOps, that GitHub will be continuously integrated to the pipeline, and then it will be continuously deployed, then it will be continuously tested, and it's a continuous monitoring. So see, everything is continuous. So these are the very important tools that we are going to. Nagios, I told you, it's a monitoring tool for the operations mainly. So we would be learning Puppet. Instead of Puppet, we are going to learn Ansible, okay, which is a configuration management tool. We are going to learn Docker, which is a containerization tool. If we do not learn Docker, we cannot promote our skills to Kubernetes, because Kubernetes is the cluster, that orchestration tool. With the knowledge of Docker, you are going to learn Kubernetes on a bigger scale. Okay, we are going to learn about Terraform, which is a provisioning tool. And of course, one of the most popular thing is the Git, where there is a version control. And finally, this is the GitLab. And in our main course, you are going to do a project called Capstone project. That project will give you a lot of confidence because that project is a real life project, the project which the industry follows. So if you can do that project, if we will do it together, you are getting a 1.5 years experience of shelving it with the interviewer. You can confidently describe or project your project. I mean, the project that you can describe your project, and they will be quite nicely happy. And that is happening with our students. Okay. So Git.
Hello.
Git. Sorry.
Sir, can you repeat the Terraform, please?
Okay. Terraform is, a DevOps tool. First of all, then what is Terraform doing? Terraform is provisioning the hardware infrastructure on the cloud. So a cloud is a place. We will learn cloud in the next weekend, okay, on 16th. So Terraform is a tool which will provision the infrastructure, whether it's a network infrastructure or a hardware, a server infrastructure. That means you can create a server. Okay, you can create your network cloud, your private virtual cloud. Okay, you can create your subnets. There are many aspects of it, but you can do all the provisioning aspect through Terraform. And once the hardware infrastructure or the infrastructure has been created, you will use Ansible to configure the system. So these are beautiful tools. And as Mr. Menon had told you, that you do not need to learn all the tools. But yes, if you learn at least these tools, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and of course with the AWS Cloud and Linux, the operating system, you are 100% ready for the market, for the DevOps market. Okay, you take it from us because we know we are dealing with that. Did I answer the question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So Git comes, I will not go into the details because that is no scope over here. Git is on the continuous development path. So GitLab, with the GitLab tool, you do the continuous integration either with the Ansible or along with the Docker and Ansible, you do the continuous deployment. Okay. Puppet, we are not learning Puppet because Puppet is popular, but Ansible is the most popular. So if you learn one tool, you do not need to learn this. Yeah, of course, if your organization is using Puppet instead of Ansible, you will take, as I told you, not even 7 days to pick it up because the technology remains the same. So Selenium for the continuous testing. This is a tool. Nagios, as I told you, is one of the very popular tools. Nagios and Splunk. Splunk is also picking up. Especially in the US market, Splunk is a bit popular, but it is used mostly for the operations team. They will do with continuous monitoring. And this is the same thing that we have. So developer puts it on the Git. So these are the tools that I am mentioning now. Developer puts it on a version control system, version control tool, which is Git, and then the Git from the GitLab will integrate the code and do it through the build server, either through Docker, and after the Docker and the Maven build, the Terraform, through the Terraform it can produce a testing server. It can create a testing server on which the build will be deployed for the testing team to test it over the Selenium. Okay, once the testing is fine and there is no issues, then you can go for pre-production deployment where the UAT will happen. If there is a good feedback, then you can go for the final release. It will come the similar way, test the release and then put it into the production server. And after the production server, it goes to the operations team, and there will be a monitoring and feedback mechanism. This is the important part. And that will be Nagios. Through the Nagios, you will do all this monitoring. Fine. So a DevOps role will encompass all these tools, if possible. But it is fine. You are a DevOps guy even if you know a single tool like Docker. You are a DevOps guy if you know a single tool like Git. You are a DevOps guy if you know a single tool called Terraform. You are a DevOps guy if you know a single tool called Ansible or GitLab. And if you know each one of them, then you are the, you know what. Okay, the same thing.
So basically knowing Git, if knowing Git makes me a DevOps engineer, so what level of Git do I need to know? Only pushing code and merging code and branching code, or like there are other things on Git?
Yeah, okay, that's a beautiful question actually. It is very difficult for me to answer it in one single statement, but yes, you are, if you think that you can manage a job only with a knowledge of Git, then you have to go into the deeper aspects of Git. So you have to be a champion of Git. So in that case, I will suggest that you do not restrict yourself to only Git. Yeah, pushing, merging, the stash and stashing and whatever, you know all the aspects of Git, that's fine. But I will say that if you know Git very well, go for GitLab as well. It will make your position a bit more stronger than only if you know Git. Okay.
Here I would like to add one more my point of view, that if you
Yes.
learn only one tools, you always need to think about a interviewer or a recruiter point of view or a company
Correct.
point of view. Why they need to hire a person who has an enormous knowledge in a Git, or else his competitor has a lower level of knowledge but mostly use DevOps tools. So on an interviewer or recruiter point of view, the second person will be much more
Correct.
suitable, right?
Correct.
Because
as I told you while I was, you can go ahead, Mr. Menon.
So because tomorrow if something's come up in Ansible or managing their server through writing some playbook, then you don't know that, but that person who is your computer and who has a basic knowledge about mostly used tools, he can manage that stuff, right?
Yes.
So you will be you always think about how and why the recruiter should choose you, and you should have a better edge compared to other your competitor or other persons.
Yes, you have to think of the competition. As I told you, if you are only an expert, then you are following the IT traditional model, right? You have to be a jack of all trade. Maybe you might not be a master in each one of them. So try to expand your base. You do not restrict yourself into a specific skill. That is what we have described in one of the slides, isn't it? That should be your answer. Of course, you would be lucky if you can manage a job only by learning Git, but it is the competition is growing day by day. So it depends on the luck factor, but I will generally suggest that you do not restrict yourself to only one specific silo. Okay? Because then you will be see, today you know Git, but tomorrow there can be some other tool which is a bit better than Git. So have an open mind, keep on upgrading, because IT is such a peculiar domain that the survival is very important. You can manage a job, but to sustain a job, you need to keep on upgrading your skills. Okay? Let me, we have say another 20-25 minutes. So with your permission, can I go on to just demonstrate a bit of Git? Is that okay with you?
I think we can, if you can, I think we can continue for another 10-15 minutes or 20 minutes because already.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So what I do, I quickly go to, this is the GitHub. We were discussing about Git, the version control tool. What about Git and all the details of Git we will understand in our main course. But here, let's say this is, I have logged into my GitHub with this account, Devashish GIF. Okay. And I'm going to create quickly a new repository. I'm giving this under my account a repository. Repository is a place where you store your source code or your whatever the files and the source code, which is developers will keep on pushing their code into the GitHub repository. Okay, I'm creating that repository. Now the repository will be empty. So let me say DevOps Internship Internship 1. Let's say I have given a repository name like this, some name. I do not want to give a description, that's fine. I want to make it public, a public repository, because for the timing, I will add a README file. Okay, I'm not going to the details of it. I will just create the repository. Now the repository has been created. The repository has been created, which is a public repository. You can see that it's a public repository, and there is one main branch. That's okay. Okay, there is a main branch, one branch. So a repository is like a tree structure where we have one branch of the tree. Okay, and there is a file. Just now we have added a file. So there is a commit. One commit has been done just now. Can you see? Just now. This is the initial commit. A commit is where you are storing, you are committing the file to be stored. But I will say that this is basically a very empty structure. What I will do, I will
Hello,
open
sir.
Yes. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, can you please explain again?
Sorry, what was the question? Hello? Can you
Sir,
hear me? Hello?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
So can you please repeat how you have created this? Due to some network, I wasn't available.
Okay. Sure. Okay. What I did, I went to my account. This is an account that I have created on the GitHub, where I'm storing all my documents and source code and whatever I'm doing. Okay, I have 32 repositories. Just now I have created one repository. A repository is a public place, a place on a GitHub. This is somewhere on the cloud. Okay, I have created an account and I have created my repository. Repository is a place, a safe place where I can keep all the files, my image files, my source code, my Java files, my whatever the code that I have developed, my Python scripts, whatever. This is mainly used by the developers, but you must know it as a DevOps engineer because you have to work with the development team. So you need to have a knowledge. You need to have a good knowledge on this too. So I have created this one. Okay. While I created this one, this has created me a main branch, which is where I'm going to store my files. Right now, other than README file, there is nothing else. This is just one line in that README file. But anyway, this is a file. So some file has been created. Therefore, it was created in a place called a repository by the name DevOps Internship -1. I have picked up the URL because it is somewhere on the internet, right? And I have copied this URL and I've stored it somewhere. I'm just to note it. I put that in the notepad. Now I will go there. What I will do? I will do it. I can do it on Windows. I can do it on Linux. I can do it on Mac.
I have a question. Sorry to interrupt. I have a question. Sometimes when using GitHub, I have seen like branches like main and master.
Yes.
Are those the same thing or like they have some difference?
No, there is a lot of difference. Generally, you will not. It depends on your company's preference. Company will have the architects. Okay, your architect will tell you whether you want to. Where should the developers? You have to create the environment for the developers to store their files. Now, if the development is in a development stage, you should not be using main or master. You should ask the developers. You should create a development branch, where, or maybe in also under the development branch, you can have sub branches, like somebody is working on a feature, login feature, so you can create a login branch. Or maybe somebody is working on the app, somebody is working on the APIs, somebody is working on the portal side, somebody is working on the database backend. So you can create separate branches for them. And when it comes to release a single product, you can merge it, all the branches, you can merge it on the master branch, and you release the master branch to the testing team for testing. It's in a very short period of time, I'm going to go through it. So
but then what is main?
Main is whenever you create your repository, main is by default a branch.
Okay, so
did I create the main branch? No. I just created the repository. So there must be some see, the files and the folders and your whatever the images, those are leaves. So a leaf, LEAF, leaf of a tree, of a branch. So can a leaf grow without a branch?
No.
So to keep a leaf to flourish, what I do, I have to create a branch. But since I was doing it first time, I have only the main branch. Can you see it's a default branch?
Okay, so can I interpret like this, like main branch is the main thing, and then we can have multiple masters under main branch, and then inside the masters we can have different projects.
Yes. Yeah, of course. Now, just give me some time before I can go into deeper aspects. I will not go into deeper aspects. Just I'm showing you how simple it is to create this. I will go to my. Can you see the screen? What I did, I just created the URL. I just copied the URL and put it somewhere. So my URL states that it is the HTTPS, a secured site. GitHub.com is the official site, and Devashis GIF is the account. Under that there is this particular repository. Okay. And what I do, I go to. I'm in the Windows. I have invoked the git bash. This is sort of a Linux terminal, over Windows. I'm using a Windows machine, Windows laptop, and Windows 11 or Windows 10. Okay. So whatever commands I give over here is like the Linux commands. We are going to learn Linux in our main course. So don't worry if you do not understand few of the commands, but I am going to create a directory. See, where I am. present working directory. I am in the D drive of my Windows laptop. D drive, some drive, in the root folder of the D drive. I am going to create a folder. Let's say my folder name is DevOps. What? Just a folder. I'm not consulting this one. I can consult, where is my, yeah. So you have already created your GitHub account. So create a GitHub empty repository. I've already done that. So these are the done part. I have installed the Windows, on the Windows, the, Git installation. I have done it on Windows. For Mac and Linux, I do not need to install Git, because with Mac and Linux, Git is automatically inbuilt with the operating system. Then after I have installed my Windows Git bash, I will invoke the Git bash for Windows. For Mac, it is terminal. For Linux, it is the Linux instance. That's all. I make directory a folder. So I'm making a directory. I have already made a directory. So CD, to change over to that directory, I said this. How will you check the contents? What is the content? ls minus l. There is nothing. But if I say ls minus all, I would like to see that there is the hidden files, hidden folders, that dot and double dot. Dot is the current one and double dot is the parent one. Okay, I am not going to the deeper aspect. So clear the screen. I will like to follow my instruction. Sorry. I would like to check my Git version. What is the version of Git I have installed over on Windows? So it is saying me that this is the latest version, 2.42 on Windows. Okay, fine. That means Git is there. I will say Git status. Git status. What is the status of my Git? And it is giving me a fatal error. It is saying you are not at all using a Git repository, local repository, or there is nothing called this. So I will say, please initialize the Git for me. So it is initialized an empty Git repository, and you can see there is a .git folder. So can you see, somebody was asking me about this branch. On the local repository, we have created the master branch. Once I have initialized the Git, maybe you might not understand because it is not the main course. So, but I'm just giving a demo. Gone? So if I now say ls minus all, all this thing, you will find a hidden. So the dot means a hidden folder. You can go to .git, cd.git. Okay, it's a Git directory. It is giving you a warning. You should not be working over here. Yeah, okay, fine. I know I should not be working. Let me check. Okay, I find a very important file called config. So I can say vi. I want to check what is there inside this config file. I am seeing the core configuration of the Git. I will come out. I know you might not be following it. That's okay. So now if I say Git status, will I get any error? Git status? No. Oh, so it is giving some error. Why? Because it is giving that you must be in your working tree. You are in a very hidden folder, a secret folder. You must not be there. So I will come back. Now if I say Git status, you see you are on the branch master. There are no commits yet, nothing to commit. So that means it has started tracking your Git local repository. Fine.
Okay. Now if I push this Git repository to my GitHub,
nothing to push. It is saying there is nothing on the branch. Is there anything?
No.
Nothing. You have not created any files. But this is not something that you need to push. This is for your configuration. Okay. I have not created any file. Let us do that. So what we do, I will just check one. I will check my Git config list. what is there? I'm seeing my username is already defined. That configuration, user configuration is defined. I have to do that if that is not there, but I have already done that. So Git username is Devashish Jiv, and my email is this one. So I have to give my particular email ID with which I have created my GitHub account, this account. Okay, so this account was Devashish Jiv, and my email ID that I have given while I created, because GitHub needs to keep on communicating with you on your mail ID. So this is very important. But I need to be having some remote configuration, because otherwise this is a local repository. I have not yet committed anything on the local repository. I will commit something, and then I will push it to the remote GitHub repository, because right now my GitHub repository is empty. As I told you, this is empty, nothing is there. Okay, I have done this. Okay, I will create a file, touch file1.txt. So where I am under the DevOps 1.
Hello?
Touch file1.txt. Let's say this is a file. I have touched it. It's an empty file. Now, if you say, somebody asks me anything. So do you see when I said list, please list what is there? I can see a one file created with 0 bytes. Nothing is there. Okay, I want to put something inside. I'm just copying it for the sake of the time, to save the time. I am putting it like this. So echo, we will learn all these commands in our main course. Echo, this is the first line of the file1.txt. So in the file, what was the name? The name is file-1. So okay, I will change it, and I will also redirect it to file-1. So I will press enter. What happened? This was a 0 byte file. Now if I say ll, you will see there are 49 bytes. I can check this. I can say vi file1 text. You see this, there was a line added. So this is a change. Don't you understand? This is a change. So if I say git status, you see there is a change, the red one, because you are being tracked. You have created a git folder. Okay, you are now git aware. This folder of yours, that is DevOps-1, is a GitOps folder, and there is a changed file, a new file created, file1.txt, with one line, and you must add this to the stashing area or the staging area, sorry. So what did you do? You added this. Now if you say git status, you will see that this is a new file. So the color has changed from red to green. That means it is now ready to be committed to the local repository. So I will say git commit -m. I will give a message. This is my first commit. That is, I am committing the first change to the file. The file name is, you can just, this is just a message for your sake of knowledge that what you did. Okay, and that's all. I'm saying git commit -m this. Sorry. I will just copy it. I have missed out on the double quotes. You see, these are mistakes. That's fine. I will give a double quotes. So what did it happen? That on the master branch, I have committed a change with this message. Okay, and that is the commit ID. There is a commit ID. We will check that. This is the commit ID. And we have created a file for some ready for push. So with a permission of 644. These are all things that we will come to know. 6 means read write permission. 4 means only read only. Okay. So fine. Now if you check git status, what will happen? There is nothing to commit more, because your commit has already been done on the master branch of the local repository. But will you find this file into your this thing automatically? No, you have to put that in. You have done that. I will check the log. I clear the screen. I will say git log -- one line. I want to check in one line the log. So I'm saying that the head is pointing to the master, local master. So the master is in green. That means it's a local master. There is no master branch over here, isn't it? There is only one branch called main, but I will not work on the local repository has a master, and that was the last commit. This is my first commit to the, so this was the last change. Now I am ready to push it. I would like to check the branch because there is some changes. So I will have a branch. You can see there is the head is pointing to the master branch. And this is on the local repository. So from the local repository means in your laptop. I would like to push that into the remote, push the changes to the remote repository. Correct? I will do that now. But for that, I will need to do one more thing. So let us go to, I will create, so let's say my first file. Okay. Again, I'm creating my first file. What I'm putting in? Let me copy this. Either I can do with the echo or I can do with the VI. So I will insert it and paste it. Okay, my second file. So there are two files. So if I say git status, will you see that there is another change. So git add. After that, so git status again, you will see that there is a green. This was taken into the staging area. Now from the staging area, I will say git commit -m second commit. Just I'm giving a short message. So it was done. So if I say check git status and there is no more changes, git log --one line. You see, this is there are two commits. The latest commit is this one because the head is pointing to the master. This was the older commit, the older change. So second commit is the last commit. Okay, fine. That is okay. Up to this is all these things are there. I can go this. I will git remote add origin. I will see when I say git config list, what is the configuration, current configuration? You see everything is configured, but do you have the remote information where you want to push it? No. So git remote add origin. What is my origin? Where do I want to add? I will pick up this because this is my GitHub repository which is designated as my origin. So I will say copy this. So what I'm saying, I will remote add the origin. This is the origin. This is my GitHub repository. So if I again check git config -- list, what I will see, can you see now? These two lines have been added to the configuration. That is saying for push, you use this, for pull or fetch, you use this. The same origin. Origin is just a nickname, like you have a official name and a alias name. The alias name is the nickname which people call you at your home. I have given a small name. My small name for the big URL is all the origin. You can give it any name. You can say original. You can give it any name. I prefer to give it origin. Okay. Now my remote has been set. So what is my last step? Sorry. I have to push it. Okay. Now you can check also git. Earlier it used to give blank, but now it will give you what? It will give you that this is your remote for fetch and push. So that's all fine. Now we go to the final step, git push origin master. Git push origin master. It is asking for the username. Oh, I have to find out. So this is the part I forgot my username. I know, Debashish Jif. I press OK. But then it will ask for the password, and password is the personal access token. Let me check if I have a personal access token. I forgot it, so I should have made a note of it. Let me try with this. I don't know whether it will work. If it does not work, we will take our 5 minutes time the next weekend to just complete this part. Let me check. Let's say assume that it will work. No. So this is not the password. Okay. So I will stop my discussion over here right now. So sorry for this, because I have forgotten the PAT, the personal access token, that password. I will generate a password and I will demonstrate the last phase of it. So you will see that these two files, that the changes which was happening over here in the local repository now will be pushed into my GitHub repository with a master branch created. So that is the part of the demo, but it got stuck because I have to find out or create that personal access token. I forgot to do that earlier. Sorry for that. So anyway, this is all for today.
I think we have done some extra part because we planned to complete the classes within 2 hours, but it is already it is 40 minutes already passed over. And the good thing is we have covered a few of our Git session. So
Yes.
may I know what will be the next weekend session, because few students asked in the group.
Yes, we are going to have our views or vision on cloud, AWS Cloud.
That will be great. And Sanket, I checked your question that what is working of README file in Git. Maybe we can discuss that. We'll start our discussion point in the next weekend from here. Will it work? Because it's already it's very late in India.
It's a bit over.
Yes, okay, sir.
overtime.
And we will start from there.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, excuse me. I wanted to find out something. So the classes are only during the weekend,
Yes.
Saturday, Sunday,
Yes.
or only Saturday?
Yes.
Saturdays and Sundays.
Only Saturday. So this total program is divided into two segments. One is basic and another is advanced. The base part consists of 4 weekend. So next 4 weekend we'll cover like basic of DevOps, and the next 4 weekend we're going to cover some of the DevOps advanced tools like Kubernetes, GitLab, etc. So
And what is this project like? Somebody spoke, right? The project like capstone project.
capstone project means, see, that is not a part of this our internship program, which is we are conducting in the weekend. Capstone
Okay.
project is the part of our main course. So our main course objective is we do have like 4 different courses: DevOps, data analytics, data science, and cybersecurity. All of those courses are called job ready courses, because if somebody has done this course, our plan, and we design the course in such a way that they should be ready for their job. Now this capstone project come in the picture like every weekend. In our main courses we give some small task, and at the end of that course we'll give a full-fledged course where they need to incorporate all of their knowledge and the tool set, handles experience to use those knowledge and complete this particular project. Like in our DevOps classes, you will learn Linux, AWS Cloud, Git, Docker, Terraform, Ansible, and GitLab. Now in our capstone project, we will provide some project. Actually, that is a live project of an US company, and though they have discarded, so that's the reason we are using that part. It is one of our clients' project. So in that particular project, you need to work, and you should have all kind of knowledge about these tools, right, Mr. Devashish? I think you are mute.
Sorry, I was in mute. Yes, you are true. You are right.
So this capstone project will give you a real hands-on experience which you will face when you are going to join as a DevOps engineer in the industry.
There is some question from Deokale Datta.
Yeah. May I?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, I am working as a product support engineer in Bajaj Finserv. So I would like to just ask one thing, like we will cover this project in our DevOps class. So that's what very fantastic. So I just would like to ask one thing, that can I mention this project in my resume? So with this along with this my production support experience.
First of all, this capstone project is not a part of this internship program, because that capstone project needs at least a week, like 10 or 12 hours to complete. And if for every students, they needs to devote more than 20 to 30 hours in off time, apart from the live session. They need to devote that much of hours to complete the project. Now our capacity for this internship program is limited, like in every weekend, right? So this capstone project is only part of our main course.
Yeah, because for that you cannot just simply have a 2-hour session on a weekend and then start. You cannot. It's a project. It takes a lot of effort and lots of knowledge. So we will do it in our main course, where people are learning about the tools in deeper at a deeper level.
Now, apart from that, in our internship, this particular course where I have enrolled, we are going to touch all of this tool set on base level. Now, we are not going to deep digger. Okay, so after the course, you will not have that capacity to complete that project. Because to complete the project, you need to know Linux very well, you need to know cloud very well, like AWS, and 5 DevOps main tool set. I think Santhan, you have one more. Datta, do you have do you have any other question? You got your answer?
So I was seeing that this is being streamed on
Yeah,
like
actually,
YouTube as
I just mention one thing here over there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I just would like to mention one thing here or there. Actually, I have the prior knowledge on the Linux and such of DevOps tools also. So on the basis of that, I was asking you regarding this project, like this question. So main purpose of asking this question that on base of my prior knowledge, and now I'm working in the this was this one.
Okay.
So that project is a part of our codes, main codes, because we are not delivering a project as such. I mean, we are not going to give a delivery for only to learn the project. It is part of our main codes where you need to learn Ansible, Terraform, your GitLab, Docker, AWS, and all those stuff. You need to know shell scripting and all those stuff.
So does it have any criteria, or it will be paid, something like that?
Criteria like this is, you can consider this as a awareness program, isn't it, Mr. Menon?
Yes. So here the challenges we are facing in our consultancy, that many students, they are from US, Canada, and UK. They want to join an IT domain, but they don't have an overview like which domain will be good for them. Is it a DevOps? Is it a Java developer? Is it a full stack developer? Or is it they should join the testing domain or not? So our agenda is to make a good awareness and give a more than a basic knowledge in every course which we have provide, or we are providing right now. Right now we have started our internship program on DevOps. Very soon, in this couple of week, we are going to start same time simultaneously separate program on our data science, data engineering, and our cyber security classes or program as well. So, but the main agenda is, if somebody is very new and they don't have any idea of DevOps, or have at least 6 months, but they on a particular tool set, but they don't have a holistic overview of DevOps, they will be benefited by this course. This course will not be will not make you a full-fledged DevOps engineer. This internship program.
Correct.
Sir,
Yeah. Santan. Yeah.
can you please share a roadmap of cloud computing? What languages, or we can say what things we should be know for as a fresher to join such company? What things should we know? Such type of roadmap of cloud computing.
So the next weekend we are going to have the full 2 hour session will complete on cloud. Am I right, Mr. Devashish?
Yeah.
So I think you will have a
generally in our main course, to complete a cloud in a very good level, we take at least 6 sessions, so which is of 12 hours 14 hours, I think. Where we reasonably cover the most aspects of the cloud in much more greater details. But here we are just having a 2-hour session to have an overview, have an awareness program, awareness thing on cloud.
In our main course, we have covered all of the component, which is consist of like a AWS solution architect certification, whatever things you need to know to appear or prepare for that exam. We will cover that part in our main course.
Exactly.
But in your internship program, we are going to you'll have a more
We
than
will touch upon all those aspects, but
yes,
we will not go into the deeper levels, because it's just the purpose and the motto of this program is awareness program.
because it will take too much time.
E-certificate will be provided, right?
Yes.
It was written.
Yes, you will get the certificate
Thank
for
you.
you have you have a holistic overview of DevOps lifecycle.
You must also attend the multiple choice questions. There is when you visit our site, you must also attend those questions, right? Is that right, Mr. Menon?
Yes. But those question is not to. It is to like a self-judge kind of stuff. It will not affect your certificate. But to get the certificate, most everyone need to join all of this 4 session.
Okay, so where can you show where we can find those multiple choice questions?
You will find. Did you register in our website?
Yes, I did. That's how I got the link.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you will go. Can you share your screen?
You want me to share my screen?
Yeah, if possible.
Let me check.
Then he can guide you where exactly you can go and look for those questions.
Let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. Now you go to the profile.
I don't know where it got stuck.
Profile.
On the profile.
Right side.
It got stuck. I can't see, like maybe I have to refresh.
On the right hand side.
There's let me reshare. There's some point.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, profile.
You just click the course. No, the DevOps Internship program is the black one.
Okay.
Yes. Just click the continue button. And you will have all those classes here.
Yeah, click on the question and answer. Q&A 1.7.
This one? Okay. Duration is 10 minutes?
It's 10 minutes or 1 hour? Oh, I think it's 10 minutes, so I need to increase that thing.
Okay.
We thought it is a 1 hour.
Very tough.
Yeah, if you can complete 47 questions in 10 minutes, that's you are champion.
Yeah, I think somebody.
You can try. Why
but
not?
This is only for self-assessment. It's nothing.
Nothing to do with your certificate. Yes.
And you'll have all those course content in the left side, one chapter.
Okay. Yeah, I see them.
Okay, I think we have done a very fantastic session. Thank you, Mr. Devashish. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
One question.
Yeah, that will.
Sir, after completing this internship, can we get some placement assistance like interview or of other companies or any real internship in company?
See, we'll always you'll always have us as a guide. We'll guide we'll guide on that particular aspect, but interview preparation, resume creations, that is also part of our main course. Because see, let me tell you very frankly, in these internship classes we can take n number of students, because it is only an awareness program. But our main classes, we do have a upper limit of our students. We cannot take 12 new students and 6 repeating students, because that classes is hands-on. And if we take more than a certain number of students, it will take much more time to complete the courses, because our agenda is not to touch all the topic and declare that course is complete. Not like that. We need to make it sure that all of our students are really ready for the job market. And to make that thing complete, we will assist, not only assist, we'll guide them to create their resume preparation, what kind of question they will face in the interview. We do have a separate archive for interview question and answers. So that will help lots and lots of our students, those are and consultant who are based in US and Canada, and this have secured their job in US and Canadian market.
Okay, thank you.
So there is a question from Tessie.
Yeah, Tessie.
Okay, thank you so much. So I was wondering, my specialty is business analysis. So I've worked as a business analyst, and before now,